Buzzard has returned to us this week inside of Destiny 2, and it is farmable inside the Nightfalls. Now, unfortunately, that is the only way you could get it. Today, we are going to be talking about Buzzard and the perfect roles that you should actually be grinding for PvP and PvE. Now, first and foremost, to actually get this weapon, you will have to play the Nightfalls, and it's a debate on whether the harder difficulty actually nets you a drop or not. But for me, I just grinded out the regular difficulty. I believe it's, I want to say hero, and I was able to get one to drop. All you need is to get one Buzzard to drop, and then from there you can actually focus them. So all you have to do is save engrams from that point, and you can do that throughout the season. The only caveat with this weapon, since it's only dropping this week, you have roughly 2.5 days until reset to actually grind for this weapon. And once you get one drop, you can focus it throughout the season. Unfortunately, the Nightfall strike this week is Glassway. It's not my favorite, but if you use the stasis turrets, you will get through it pretty easily. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to go over the roles that I feel like you should be grinding for PvP, and then I'm also going to talk about the role that I actually gained. And I do have a couple of roles, but unfortunately, I did not actually get the Godroll. Now, we are on D2 Foundry. It's a fantastic website. It does tell you time to kill and stuff like that. It does give you a lot of stats that Light GG just does not have, in my opinion. It is a fantastic website. Definitely go check it out. Now, first and foremost, you're definitely going to want to go for Hammer Forge Rifling. That does give you a +10 in range. And for the next mag perk, for me, I prefer Ricochet Rounds. It does give you the bonus for the stability and the range. Now, I forgot to mention that this role that I'm going over is for PvP. I will leave timestamps below, though. Now, the next perk that you're going to want is Perpetual Motion for PvP. It is fantastic to use. Encore will be a good second, but Perpetual Motion gives you free benefits by just staying in motion. So essentially at one stack you will get 10 stability, 10 handling, and 10 reload speed. And if you get this ×2, it obviously doubles, which is fantastic. And all you have to do is move around. And some of the gameplay, you'll just see me actually just walking around in circles around capture points or whatever, just to keep the perpetual motion ×2. It's fantastic, and it does give you those benefits. Now, for my final perk, I recommend Rangefinder. It does give you that zoom magnification, and it does give you a bump in range. However, I did not actually get that perk for me to drop. I ended up getting Kinetic Tremors, which is for PvE, but it still works really well. And that's the background gameplay where I have Hammer Forge Rifling, Ricochet Rounds, Perpetual Motion, and Kinetic Tremors. It's a fantastic weapon. I highly suggest that you guys grind out for it, but I'm still trying to search for that rangefinder role. Now, for my masterwork, obviously range masterwork is going to be key here. We already have high stability sitting at 97 with perpetual motion ×2 and all the additional traits. Now we're actually going to switch gears here and talk about PvE. Now, for my barrel perk, I would recommend actually keeping it the same at Hammer Forge Rifling. There are other options depending on how snappy you want the weapon to feel, like fluted barrel, etc., etc. For my mag perk, I actually recommend either Appended Mag or Extended Mag. And the reason being is for that final perk that we have, which is Kinetic Tremors. I'm pretty much backstacking as much ammo as I can. That way I could proc Kinetic Tremors more often inside of PvE. So I'm either going to recommend the Extended Mag or the Appended Mag. It's really just up to you. If you do get the Extended Mag, you will lose reload speed. If you do Appended Mag, you only get 3 rounds, but you don't lose any reload speed or anything like that. Now, for my third trait column, we're going to be going with Overflow. 4th time's a charm is one of those tricky ones because you actually have to hit the crits. And I feel like Overflow is way more consistent. It's a lot easier to proc, especially if you're using another special or a heavy weapon, which more than likely all of us are doing. Even if you're not using a special weapon, you still are using a heavy weapon for most cases in PvE. So it's very easy to get Overflow to proc, and it increases your magazine size by 200%. Now, for my final trait column, we do have Vorpal Weapon, which will give you a 20% damage bonus just because this is a primary. And that's okay. You know, it's only made for really majors and champions and stuff like that. But we also have Frenzy, which that's also a good perk. Now, we do have a new perk this season called Kinetic Tremors, and if you watch my Battle Scar Pulse Rifle review, I did state that kinetic tremors was one of the best perks on that weapon if you are using it for PvE. Now that perk basically states sustained kinetic damage to a target emits a shockwave that damages any nearby targets. Scoring multiple hits against a single target emits 3 damaging shockwaves from its location at the time of activation. Now the only drawback with kinetic tremors is the fact that this weapon was shooting so quickly that I was having a hard time actually proccing kinetic tremors consistently. I'm not saying it's a bad perk. I definitely love this perk. I'm not sure if it's actually bugged on its sidearm since it's just now being released this week, but it seems like it was chewing through ammo before I could actually get kinetic tremors to proc so consistently. And that's why for PvE, I recommended either extended mag or appended mag. And then for your actual mod for the weapon, I recommend backup mag. You want as much ammo as you can. And that's why we have the overflow. We have all that stuff to contribute. That way we have so much rounds or so many rounds in this weapon to actually proc kinetic tremors more often. And that's where I felt like I was seeing more consistency with the weapon with having those perks. Now, if you decide not to go to the overflow route and you try to do 4 times the charm or something like that, you may not see kinetic tremors proc as often. And that's the main struggle that I actually had with the weapon. That's why I'm glad they actually have overflow on here. And then you could increase it even more by using appended mag and then using backup mag. So it really works out together. If you don't use those perks, then you are stuck with 14 rounds. I just wasn't seeing the consistency with kinetic tremors. And if you don't go that route, like I said, I would actually recommend just going with Vorpal Weapon. That's a fantastic perk as well, especially for the primaries. Now, fortunately for me, I do have Drang, and I actually like Drang a little bit more than Buzzard. But if you do not have a Drang or you weren't able to craft a Drang, this is definitely second best, and it is a phenomenal kinetic weapon to actually have. And it is available this week, like I said, but you do have to play the glass way, and all you need is 1 to drop. You have 2 days left at the time of this recording to get 1 to drop, and once you get 1 to drop, you can focus those Vanguard engrams at any time. You can also grind out for Vanguard engrams at any time, but you have to get 1 to drop now. If you don't get 1 to drop this week, then you'll have to wait until it comes back into rotation for you to actually grind for this weapon again. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me in the comments down below what you guys think of Buzzard. Is it a phenomenal weapon? Do you recommend using it? Are you guys grinding out for it? Let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate everybody for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's a free way to support me. I will have new build videos out this week, so definitely stay tuned for those. And I believe we have Iron Banner coming back this week, so I do have a review for one of those weapons as well coming out this week. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will see you all in the next video.